What's up, guys? Back here again with another video, and I want to talk about what is next for the fighters of UFC 272 main card. I'm gonna try to get all the fighters in there and discuss about what's hopefully next for them. And yeah, man, you guys know what's up. Make sure to please hit the subscribe, ring that bell, and let's dive right into it. So I'm gonna start off with the main event. Of course, was Colby Covington taking on Jorge Masvidal. Let's just talk about the other cards first. And co-main event was at catchweight, Rafael dos Anjos, Ronaldo Moricano stepping in short notice. Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. Kevin Holland, Alex Cowboy Oliveira, and Sergey Spivak versus Greg Hardy. But first up, main event, of course, and it was an interesting one, a pretty much dominant fight for Colby Covington. Colby, I kind of knew he was already going to stick to the wrestling game. I mean, Jorge, we know, doesn't have the best ground game in the world. You know, his takedown, you know, he made Colby work for a little bit of the takedowns here and there or whatever. But it was predominantly dominated for Colby Covington. Jorge had that one moment when he rocked him and didn't do much with it. But, you know, all know the story already. Them best friends and whatnot. But that was a pretty much one-sided fight. Here's what I think is next. We already know Colby, instead of calling out Kamaru Usman, he wanted to, looks like he wants to fight Dustin Poirier. I think that would be a great fight for him. And a great fight for Poirier too. Another guy that was in ATT. That is in ATT, you know. Now that he has beef with him now and whatever. The only thing I didn't get to say during my reaction video was that I didn't like that Colby is pulling the whole family. And then not just wives, like talking about the children. I feel like that's stupid as hell, and it's like super low. I personally don't like it. That would be like an on-site for me. I don't care about no building up fight or nothing. You know, you don't talk about someone's kids, and that's like a line that's already been drawn. You know, I haven't seen him say anything yet about Kamaru Usman's daughter. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's disrespectful, but for a business standpoint, him fighting Dustin, I think that would be great. Man, I think Dustin's wrestling, takedown defense, and his scramble wrestling is going to be there all day. I think it's going to be a much better fight than it was for Colby, the way he dominated Jorge Masvidal. And, yeah, man, for the main event, that's what I think. For Jorge Masvidal, I feel like he just needs to, now he's definitely going back to the drawing board. He just lost 2 straight in a row. For Kamaru, lost to Kamaru. For Colby, finally, and, you know, ultimately lost, which is a much worse loss for him than it was. I think him losing to Colby was much worse than losing to Kamaru Usman, just because the bad blood between him and Colby, and everybody knows the history between them. Now, in the co-main event, catchweight, Rafael dos Anjos taking on Renato Moricano, which originally supposed to be, I forgot who was originally supposed to face off the top of my head right now. But, Rafael Fasiv, because Rafael Fasiv ended up getting COVID and stepped in on days' notice. Moricano, which was a smart move. I know Dana tried to get Islam Makhachev to fight, and it didn't work out in that way. But Moricano, again, I knew Rafael dos Anjos was gonna go and take the fight to the ground. Just mostly just use his wrestling to control the fight, and he did that, you know, with effortless. You know, Moricano had his moment in the beginning, but you know, we knew that Moricano taking a short notice, he's gonna have to try to get him out in the first round. But the beating that he took throughout that fight was really bad. I thought the referee was gonna stop it. I thought the corner was gonna listen, man. I get it, that pride, and then probably even me in the heat of the moment, if I was in that situation, I probably wouldn't want it to be stopped. But you know, but again, you know, it is what it is. Moricano showed this heart and determination. Even in the 5th round, he was still trying to, you know, even though by then Rafael dos Anjos decided to make it into it felt like a sparring match. So that's how it kind of ended in a way, until Moricano started landing a little bit more and stuff like that, and then Rafael would try to put it on him or whatever. But again, great heart for Moricano. There's nothing, his stock went up like crazy. For Rafael dos Anjos, good win. Hopefully he can get the Fasiv fight back on. If not, move him up. But I pretty much want to see him fight Fasiv. I think that would be a great matchup. Fasiv has beautiful freaking striking. So that would be great to see if he can stop the takedowns or whatever from Rafael dos Anjos. Now, in the co-feature, I believe it was, yes, Edson Barboza taking on Bryce Mitchell. And Bryce Mitchell, I love that dude. That dude is freaking fantastic. I love him. I love his fighting style. Another wrestler versus a striker match. And that's pretty much how it went. Grappler versus striker. And the grappler prevailed. And surprisingly, Bryce Mitchell rocked Edson Barboza in their fight in the first round. And, ended up dropping him, I think, like twice. But then again, Barboza definitely worrying about those takedowns and the wrestling dominance that Bryce Mitchell has. I feel like for Bryce Mitchell, beating somebody like Edson Barboza helps his career out in a big run. Barboza's been in the game since like forever. Been in the UFC in forever. So seeing Bryce Mitchell go out there and do his thing, that's fantastic. I definitely want to see him fight somebody within the top 15 at least, because I don't think he's ranked. Maybe he is now, but at least somebody in the top 15, maybe top 10. I want to see somebody that UFC can match him up with, somebody that has pretty good wrestling and some decent striking as well. I want to see how he fares to that. Or even if somebody's a really good striker but has really good takedown defense, good scrambles to get back up to the feet, and don't let him dominate you on the ground as he's been doing to his opponents as of late. So yeah, for Edson Barboza, back to the score, back to the beginning, so to speak. I feel like with one big victory in a really dynamic fashion, I think throw himself back in there anyways. He's not too far down. Now the other fight was Kevin Holland versus Cowboy Oliveira. And that thing went as crazy as I thought. Cowboy was throwing Kevin Holland around in the first round. Just ragdolling him throughout the first until the second round started, and Kevin Holland, got the shot that he was looking for. He kind of woke up. I feel like he kind of woke up too. Great victory for Kevin Holland. I like Kevin Holland even when he's talking smack, but this time around he stood very quiet. He was in there to fight and just make his money and go home, and that's just how it looked like for Kevin Holland this past weekend. Again, beating somebody like Cowboy Oliveira, friggin' awesome. He ended up calling out Donald Cerrone, but I think Donald Cerrone already has a fight. Well, he didn't call him out. He just said that he don't want to, maybe he'll fight like another Cowboy or whatever. That would be a fantastic match. I know for that match, he'd definitely be doing Kevin Holland stuff, with just talking shit in the middle of the fight. And I think that would be fantastic. For Cowboy Oliveira, just got to keep going, man. That dude has been another guy that's been in the UFC since like forever. I love his style of fighting. I like what Oliveira did this time around against Kevin Holland. Still composed for most of the first round. Didn't go as crazy, get into those big crazy brawls he usually gets into. So that shows that he's been working on that and that part of his game, at least for the most part. So again, I can't wait to see what both guys do in the future. Now the opener was Sergey Spivak versus, I hope I'm saying his name right, versus Greg Hardy, and it went exactly how I thought it would go. Greg Hardy, big power, big knockout power, and that's pretty much all he got. He don't really have much of anything. Spivak got the fight, and Sergey got the fight to the ground, and that's pretty much how it ended. Again, it's hard to work on the wrestling, especially at the heat of the moment, got the crowd there. I feel like for Greg Hardy, take another year off, maybe, or at least work on your ground game. Lose some of the weight. I feel like he's big, like super big. Derek Lewis is big, but you can tell Derek Lewis kind of puts in some work. But I feel like Greg Hardy just needs to put in a little more work, especially wrestling wise, because as soon as Spivak got to full mount, he just like kind of gave up and crawled up into a cradle, and it was over from there. Like, that just shows that you super lost if you just cradle, So I hope that in the future that he just continues working on the wrestling. Striking is okay. He got knockout power. It is what it is. But I feel like he just needs to work on his wrestling. And I feel like this card in general was like mostly wrestlers. Some people had good striking, like Edson Barboza. But I feel like this card was more wrestling dominated. than anything. It was a great card. Make sure you guys watch it on ESPN Plus. I think you still have to. I think it's still pay-per-view right now on ESPN Plus. In a little bit, it'll be, part of ESPN Plus, and you'll be able to watch it there for free. But if you haven't, watch it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a great card. I want to know what do you guys think of the fight that happened this past weekend, and who do you guys got next for Colby Covington? Do you want to see the Dustin fight or see him fight Kamaru Usman again? What's next for Mosvito? What's next for the winners and the losers of UFC 272? Want to know? Put those down in the comment section below. If you like the video, guys, make sure to please hit the subscribe and throw those thumbs up for me, guys. I would really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.